Thanks very much, Susan. So yeah, I thought I'd start things off by sharing a little bit about my background. So I started as a software engineer building large custom systems for enterprises. And even in those days, I was always interested in not just the application development, but everything it took to put a software system together, from security and databases and messaging, the build and deployment process, and probably what you would refer to as a full stack developer these days, but well before it was such a thing. And I was often frustrated by how long it would take to get software delivered, deployed, and released to users. It would sometimes take months or even years to get the software out to users. And so I started getting interested in practices like the daily build, and that led to things like continuous integration, which led me to write a book on the topic in 2007. And it was around that same time that the book was published that I also co-founded a company called Stelligent. And Stelligent was really founded on the idea of helping companies deliver, giving them the capability to deliver features to users whenever they choose to do so, using practices like continuous integration, continuous delivery, and DevOps practices in general. And a couple of years ago, I was recognized as an AWS Community Hero, which is really a reflection of one of the core values at Stelligent that we have, and that is of sharing. And so we share through webinars like this, if you go to our blog, you will see a lot of very solution-oriented technical blog articles and examples. And then we have a number of open source contributions you can find on GitHub as well at the Stelligent organization. So I'm going to be talking today about next generation MSPs, or managed service providers, and how they're providing the capability through self-service means, which is, I'm going to really compare it to what a traditional MSP might typically offer to customers. And that, in terms of the next generation, what we're seeing is more, the MSPs are providing more freedom for development organizations. They're providing that freedom along with governance, along with the guardrails, so that software developers can deploy with confidence to their users. And so let's take a look at, well, why do companies choose MSPs in the first place? And if you look in the past, companies may have sought to outsource their IT capabilities because they may have lacked the expertise in-house, or as a result of cost and availability of that expertise. And then some of the companies will look to the MSP to reduce the burden on managing their own IT infrastructure, so they can focus on what they have seen as their core competency of their business, and let someone else kind of manage the IT infrastructure. And that's how you see traditional MSPs solving the problem. Now, over the past decade, things have changed quite a bit. And this is really as a result of the ubiquity and the capabilities that are afforded by cloud providers like Amazon Web Services and Microsoft Azure and the Google Cloud Platform. And as a result of these cloud providers, companies can actually experience the same scale and security as the biggest organizations out there. They're going to get the same kind of compute, but they're only paying for what they're using. And this provides a lot of freedom for even the smallest company to scale and have the same level of security and things like that as the largest organization out there. Now, while the access to infrastructure has become ubiquitous, access to the expertise is not. In fact, the gulf in expertise is widening as those who embrace the cloud early on have a very distinct advantage to innovate based on the skills that they've established using providers such as AWS and Microsoft and Google over the past several years. So let's take a look at what is a typical, let's say, traditional MSP, or what's an MSP tend to provide. And so I'm going to go over these 9 areas, the first being access management. And that's where an MSP might be creating user accounts and managing user accounts and providing permissions to infrastructure resources. And then change management, where they're going to ensure that changes are applied in a controlled manner. Or compliance management, where they're going to ensure that the infrastructure and the applications are in compliance with assurance programs for finance and healthcare and government and other types of assurance programs. And then continuity management, things like disaster recovery and backups and high availability and restoration. Or incident management, where you're able to get support to fix problems. You have alerting, monitoring, things like that are helping customers be aware when something does go wrong, and then getting support to fix that. And then patch management, where the infrastructure is always kept up to date and also compliant. And then provisioning management, where you're provisioning, the MSP is provisioning, configuring infrastructure for its customers. And then reporting, where you're getting access to things like metrics and logs and recommendations for improvement. And then finally, security management, where you're ensuring that the infrastructure is always secure. So I'm going to be going over 7 guiding practices, and this is really the outline for the rest of the webinar. And the first is DevOps, and I'll be spending a good bit of time talking about DevOps. And so the next generation of service providers are embracing more of a product-driven mindset that's considering the entire value stream from idea to production and its ongoing operations, and it's working with its customers to ensure that they're also embracing the DevOps model. And then that they're cloud native. And the next generation service providers are leveraging the capabilities of the individual cloud providers. They're also providing remediation as code. So any problems that occur get fixed via version tested code. They're providing access to the code. So then the next generation service providers are providing customers access to all the code that creates the IT infrastructure, the IT systems. They're upskilling their customers. In other words, they're increasing the knowledge and capability of the engineers and the rest of the organization in which they're providing the service to. And then they're providing that in a self-service manner. And I would say that's a distinct difference, is they're looking at it from the perspective of enabling, and that's also related to increasing the knowledge and capability of their customers. So instead of looking at it as, managing and providing a service only, it's also about enabling customers and engineers to be able to solve their own problems as they arise. And then finally, governance is providing governance around these frameworks and providing rules and policies. In particular, they're enabled via automated systems that are defined as code rather than just boards and rules.
Hi there, hope you enjoyed that last clip. My name is Michael Malutis, and if you'd like to watch the full 60 minutes of that last webcast, while also getting complete unlimited access to our entire library of IT learning, simply visit our subscribe page at greatpro.org/subscribe. Unlimited annual access is $199 per year, but if you use the coupon code LEARN2EARN, you can drop that membership fee to just $149. That's less than $13 per month for unlimited access to over 1,000 hours of on-demand career development, covering the entire spectrum of IT management best practices, including business analysis and requirements, software development, quality and testing, risk management, process improvement, project management, and even digital transformation. But your membership doesn't just give you unlimited access to our vast learning library. You also get free access to our mobile app, as well as direct access to our network of over 300 of the world's leading IT consultants, all of whom are dedicated to putting practical knowledge at your fingertips so that you can learn more and earn more. I hope you will join me in becoming a member of the Great IT Professional and advancing your career with us. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button above so that you get notified whenever we publish new free webcasts each week of the year. Thank you for your time and best wishes for your continued success.